Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Satma Vandamoi Savadana Mate Jahara Prasade Bhai Deva Vatoriya Jai Krishna Prapti Hoy Jaha
The lotus feet of our spiritual master are the only way by which we can attain pure devotional service. I bow to his lotus feet with great awe and reverence. By his grace, one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna.
Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitte Koriya Kya Parana Kori Ho Mane Asa Shri Guru Charane Rati Kaise Uttama Gati Prasade Pure Sada Asa.
My only wish is to have my consciousness purified by the words emanating from his lotus mouth. Attachment to his lotus feet is the perfection that fulfills all desires.
Chakudana Dilo Jai Janme Janme Prabhu Se Devya Gyan Hriday Prakashito Prema Bhakti Jaha Hoite Avidya Vinasha Jate Vedegai Jaracharito.
He opens my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord birth after birth. From him, ecstatic prema emanates. By him, ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character.
Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adhama Janara Bandhu Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adhama Janara Bandhu Lokena Lokera Jivana Lokera Jivana Haha Prabhu Koro Doya Devo More Padashaya Haha Prabhu Koro Doya Devo More Padashaya Devi Jasku Sakti Bhuvana Devi Jasku Sakti Bhuvana.
O spiritual master, ocean of mercy and friend of the fallen souls, you are the teacher of everyone and the life of all people. O Master, be merciful unto me and give me the shade of your lotus feet. May your glories now be proclaimed throughout the three worlds.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama
नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. A very warm welcome to all of you on day 14 of Srila Prabhupada Lila. So we see Srila Prabhupada had come back and he left one disciple in India, giving him the responsibility to preach over there. And he gave him the sutra, the secret mantra of spiritual strength. How to have association of spiritual master even when physical body is far, far away. Prabhupada told him, physical distance does not matter. You simply remember my teachings, try to implement it, we will remain packed together. And then Srila Prabhupada explained him, you preach. When you preach, you will get strength. And if you don't preach, then you die. Everything becomes stagnated. So with this sutra, Prabhupada came back and all the devotees were very glad to see Swamiji coming back and they got a new life, new rejuvenated spiritual life. Then how the second phase of Krishna consciousness movement in the West began, let us try to understand today. After a few weeks in San Francisco, Swamiji went to Los Angeles, where a small group of his disciples had opened a storefront temple in a middle-class black and Hispanic neighborhood. The storefront was bare and the location secluded. Swamiji stayed there 2 months, delivering lectures, holding kirtans, and giving strength and inspiration to his disciples. Although a buzzing in his head made working difficult, he found the warm climate and sunshine agreeable, and he continued to translate Srimad Bhagavatam. So they picked up the formula from Srila Prabhupada. You go, you open a storefront, and one room should be there for Prabhupada close by and for the devotees to live. Just like we have various stores and they sell various products. Similarly, one of the stores would be converted to a temple and people would see, they would come by and become devotees. So the same model storefront and adjoining apartment, they implemented in various other places. So all these young devotees, while Prabhupada was recuperating, 2-3 more centers were started. And one such center was Los Angeles. In May, a few months after leaving Los Angeles, Swamiji paid a first visit to his ISKCON center in Boston. This was another center which had come up on the eastern coast. There also he found a few disciples based in a small storefront. It was in Swamiji's room one day in Boston that he accepted the name Prabhupada. While his secretary was taking dictation, Prabhupada mentioned the affix G was a third-class address. So very nicely, Govindasi Mataji, she mentions. Her husband asked Srila Prabhupada, because they were trying to understand the language Hindi, Sanskrit. So they understood G means we use it as a matter of respect. And we are supposed to give respect to everybody in Krishna consciousness. So he asked, can I call my wife Govinda? Govinda Dasi was the name of his wife. Can I ask my wife Govinda G? So Prabhupada told, no, G is very third class form of address. So G means obviously it is very respectful, but then not respectful enough when used for devotees and especially for spiritual master. So then they asked, then why we are calling you Swami Ji? Then Prabhupada told, no, it's okay, it is all right. No, that is not okay. It is third class, you just told. So please let us know, what should we call you? Then Prabhupada told, you can call me Gurudev, Guru Maharaj, or Srila Prabhupada. And they are clueless. They told, we do not know which one of this is best. What can we call you? So Prabhupada told, Srila Prabhupada is all right. And then this is how Swamiji disappeared and Srila Prabhupada appeared. And that day onwards, they circulated the news everywhere that this is the way spiritual master is supposed to be addressed. And our spiritual master has humbly accepted to be addressed with the name Srila Prabhupada. At first, some of the devotees were reluctant to give up the long cherished Swamiji, which for them was a name of affection. But then, in Back to Godhead magazine, they very nicely published. They explained, the word Prabhupada is a term of utmost reverence in Vedic religious circles. What does it mean, this word? It signifies a great saint even among saints. The word actually has two meanings. First, one at whose feet means path, the prabhus are sitting. All the devotees are supposed to address each other by the name Prabhu. Prabhu means master. As we discussed, our disease in material world is we want to become master of everyone. In other words, if given a chance, we want to become God. We are envious of God. So solution is to become servant. So thus we call everybody as Prabhu. You are my master, I am your servant. So Prabhupada means all the saints, devotees, especially the initiated devotees, should be addressed as Prabhu. But in our community, even though somebody may not be initiated, anybody who is regularly following Krishna consciousness, they are supposed to be addressed as Prabhu. Prabhupada, at whose feet Prabhus, the saints, are also sitting. Such an exalted personality is called Prabhupada. The second meaning is one who is always found at the lotus feet of Krishna. Now Krishna is also called Prabhu because he is Supreme Prabhu, and Pad means feet. He is found at Krishna's feet. So this is another meaning. At whose feet the masters, all the Prabhus sit, and who is always found at the feet of Supreme Prabhu Krishna. These are the meanings of Prabhupada. In the line of disciplic succession through which Krishna consciousness is conveyed to mankind, there have been a number of figures of such spiritual importance as to be called Prabhupada. So this title was not the first time that it was conferred upon somebody. But even ages before, the first disciples of Lord Chaitanya, Srila Rupa Goswami, in our Sampradaya, he was also being addressed by the same name. Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada executed the will of his master Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and therefore he and his associate Goswamis are called Prabhupada. Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, Sanatan Goswami Pad, Prabhupada, they are all addressed by this name, Shad Goswamis. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur executed the will of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and therefore he is also addressed as Prabhupada, our spiritual master, and this is how actually one is supposed to address spiritual master. Om Vishnupad Ashtottara Shat means 108 times. Shri Shrimad, so just spiritual master should be given so much respect. If you just add one Shri, that is not sufficient at all. One Shri can be added to any other person. So spiritual master first of all is addressed as Om Vishnupad, who is sitting at the lotus feet of Vishnu, and he is Paramhansa. Paramhansa means, as we discussed, who belongs to the topmost order of sannyas, who is liberated from all the laws of nature. That is called Paramhans. Om Vishnupad Paramhans, and because he is preacher also, mercifully, although he is supremely qualified, those people who have preached rigorously, extensively in their life, by their preaching, they can make such advancement where they become Paramhansa. But still, out of compassion, they come down again to the level of preacher. So he is preacher also, so Parivrajagacharya. Om Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivrajagacharya. Shri Prabhupada? No. 108 times Shri has to be added. So that is why Ashtottara Shat, Shri, 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 like this 108 times. Ashtottara Shat, Shri Shrimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj. This is actually the complete address of Prabhupada. As you would have heard if you have attended our Kirtans in the temple. After Kirtan, like this we offer respects to the spiritual master. Om Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivrajagacharya Ashtottara Shat, Shrimad. Shrimad means beautiful. Srimad, His Divine Grace. Abhay Charanarvind Bhakti Vedant Swami Prabhupada. Srimad Bhakti Vedant Swami Maharaj has in the same way executed the will of Srila Bhakti Siddhant Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada in carrying the message of love of Krishna to the Western world. And therefore, the humble servants of His Divine Grace from all the different centers of the Sankirtan movement are following in the footsteps of Srila Rup Goswami Prabhupada and prefer to address His Grace, our spiritual master, as Prabhupada. And he has kindly said yes. Montreal, August 1968. So this in August 1967, Prabhupada had to come to India, and now we see Prabhupada just after 1 year, he is in third center, Montreal. Srila Prabhupada was in his room speaking with his several disciples. So, Annapurna, have you got some news? She was a young British girl and she had some connection. And her father was telling you, please come here, I will arrange some place for the devotees. But when Srila Prabhupada asked, what is the news? She became little hesitant and she told, well, my father is still calling, but he is saying he cannot arrange any place for us. Prabhupada looked disappointed. That's all right. It's up to Krishna. When we go to someone to preach, we have to stand before them with folded hands, with all humility. My dear sir, please take to Krishna consciousness. So, when somebody is not picking up Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada told sometimes when people put up arguments or they are not so malleable, we may become little disturbed at times. Or we may try to break their ego by putting forth logical arguments. But this is not the way Prabhupada told of preaching. The way of preaching is Dante nidhaya trinakam padayor nipatya. Now preaching we have to do. So what is preaching? So preaching means we have to not, it's not a battle where you have to kill the other person. No. You have to win other person's heart. That is called preaching. So in this, humility is very much required. Although Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he met Prakashanand Saraswati, when Mahaprabhu was traveling the entire country, then he met, when he was going towards North, Vrindavan, he met Prakashanand Saraswati. And he was leader of the impersonalists, who are actually offenders of Krishna. And Mahaprabhu could have immediately went there and argued with him and could have defeated also. But submissiveness in the heart of a person will not awaken, even if such a person is defeated like that. So one has to win the heart. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu presented himself as a less intelligent sannyasi. And he went and sat at the place where people were supposed to wash their feet. And naturally, Prakashanand Saraswati, he was knowing this Nimai Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is no ordinary scholar. Although he is behaving like sentimentalist, as he was telling everybody, singing and dancing, sannyasi is supposed to be grave and read Vedanta. But nevertheless, I have heard that he is very bright scholar. At young age, he defeated Keshav Kashmiri, who had defeated all the scholars of the country. So he is no ordinary man, but then he is adopting such a humble position here. So he requested Mahaprabhu, he offered him respect. Please don't sit there, come there with us. In this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave him Sukriti. As soon as somebody offers respect to devotees, he becomes qualified to understand spiritual knowledge. And if one disrespects, then he becomes disqualified. So thus Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a householder. He could have preached in household life, but householders are not given much respect. But sannyasi naturally is given respect. So Mahaprabhu planned, if I take sannyas, wherever I travel, people may understand or may not understand philosophy. The Vedic culture is, you have to fall down when you see a sannyasi offer respects. And if somebody fails to offer respect to sannyasi, he or she is supposed to fast for 1 day. So when people respect me, they will get qualifications. And thus, it will be easy for them to pick up Krishna consciousness. So this is the way Prabhupada told, by your gentle behavior, humility, we don't try to hurt the ego of other person. That is very wrong approach. That person becomes against all our philosophy. So what we have to do is with folded hands we approach. Dante nidhaya trinakam padayor nipatya. With great humility, I fall at your feet, sir. Please request. And literally, Nityanand Prabhu, Haridas Thakur, they would preach like that. They would knock the door, fall at the feet, and request people, please chant Hare Krishna. I have got something very nice. There is no loss. Why don't you pick up? So Prabhupada told this process all of us can adopt. We can just go door to our friends, family members, neighbors, or maybe strangers, and we can knock on their door and we can request them humbly, please chant Hare Krishna. I have come across a nice process and I'm trying to spread this news everywhere. So Prabhupada told, don't get disappointed. Very humbly we can request. If people don't pick up, it's up to them. Pradyumna spoke up. Pradyumna was Prabhupada's assistant who was always translating Prabhupada books, Sanskrit scholar, although he was a Westerner. I was reading a book by this big atheist Swami, Prabhupada told. There are some letters in the back of the book and I was looking at them. Atheist Swami's book, Prabhupada said, we have nothing to do with. Pradyumna explained, I wasn't looking at his philosophy, I was just looking at the techniques he used when he was in America. He wanted to go to Europe, and so he had a man, rich benefactor, who went on a 6-week tour of France, England, Germany, Switzerland, Holland, and then back arranging lectures. This is how he did most of his tour. He had 1 or 2 influential people and they arranged everything, and the lectures were arranged. Prabhupada interrupted, so you can arrange like that? He replied, I was thinking there would be a Royal Asiatic Society in London. I think Thakur Bhakti Vinod was a member of that. Thakur Bhakti Vinod, 2 generations ago. Prabhupada asks, but where is Thakur Bhakti Vinod's association? Well, Pradyumna continued, there may be some people, maybe you can start a conversation, open a dialogue. Prabhupada said thoughtfully, in England he would have no place to stay. Pradyumna might talk of influential persons traveling ahead and making all the arrangements, but where were such persons? Here was a shy girl who could barely speak up, whose father would not help, and Pradyumna reading an atheist Swami and talking of Royal Asiatic Society, but nothing practical. Prabhupada had plans, though. He asked Mukunda and Shyam Sundar. Who are these people? The same devotees who started San Francisco Center. He asked them to go to London and try to establish an ISKCON center. They had agreed and would be arriving in Montreal from San Francisco in a few days. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Prabhupada's own spiritual master, had wanted Krishna consciousness in Europe. During the 1930s, he had sent his most experienced sannyasis to London, but they had returned. Nothing accomplished. It wasn't possible to teach Krishna consciousness to the Mlechas. They had complained. Mlecha means those who don't belong to Varnashrama system. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, even Shudra rules they cannot follow. They are called Mlechas. And today's society, everybody is Mlecha because even Shudra regulations nobody can follow. At least Shudra is not expected to follow other things. Brahmachari he cannot remain. Neither can he take Vanprastha and Sannyas. Unless somebody is trained as Brahmachari, they cannot take Sannyas. But Grahastha rules and regulations he is supposed to follow. But now there is no Grahastha ashram also. People live in household just to enjoy sensual pleasures. So they are not Grahasthas but Grahmedis actually. This is a situation of society. So those who cannot even follow that, they are called Mlechas. Mainly meat eaters, and they drink wine. So they told it was impossible to teach Krishna consciousness to the Mlechas. Europeans couldn't sit long enough to hear the Vaishnava philosophy and they had returned without any accomplishment. Still, Prabhupada had faith that his disciples would succeed. They would help him establish ISKCON centers in Europe just as they had in North America. Certainly such success would greatly please Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. Prabhupada told of a man who found a gourd lying on the road and picked it up, and then he found a stick and a wire and picked them up too. In themselves, the 3 parts were useless: gourd, the stick, and the wire. But when combined together, then it becomes a veena, and the sound is very melodious. In a similar fashion, although these people had no value, they were just loitering in the streets of America. But when assembled together in association of Srila Prabhupada, then it all became very, very valuable. Similarly, Prabhupada had come to the West and found some rejected youths lying here and there. But by Krishna's grace, the combination had become successful. If his disciples remained sincere and followed his orders, they would succeed in Europe. 3 married couples, Mukunda and Janaki, Shyam Sundar and Malati with an infant daughter, and Guru Das and Yamuna. These 6 devotees or 3 couples, husband-wife pair, arrived in Montreal, eager to travel to London. These 3 couples had begun the temple in San Francisco, where they had had close association with Srila Prabhupada. They had helped Prabhupada introduce Kirtan, Prasadam and Rath Yatra among the hippies of Haight Ashbury. Now they were eager to help him introduce Krishna consciousness in London. So just see how much dependence they had on Prabhupada. So they are having an infant daughter. Infant means you have to always be taking care of them. You have to be settled, you have to have a fixed source of income, and mother has to be always very attentive. But there we see these people with a very young daughter who needs to be always carried in lap. They are willing to go to a new center, new country, and they know they will not be able to find any job there because they are Westerners, foreigners. So there is no job opportunity at all. They have to remain dependent on Krishna for their maintenance. There is no support at all in the country. And not just they have to take care of their daughter and live a comfortable life. They have to go and preach their Krishna consciousness, start the movement. So how tough, and moreover, they are not brahmacharis, they are not sannyasis trained in the long discipline of Vedic culture. They are just very new people, they hardly know any shlokas. But such devotees are requested to go and they are very eager. Yes, we will do it, Prabhupada. So this is the dependence. So actually, this kind of dependence everybody must have. And this is how all the disciples were dependent on Prabhupada. In West, people spend a long time, they have live-in relationships, eventually they get married. And this is not the culture at all. You tell somebody and there is sort of arranged marriage, but Prabhupada would tell, and the disciples would marry without seeing each other. Just so much dependent on Prabhupada. And Prabhupada is sending, yes, Prabhupada will go there. Any country they will go. Even if country is in war, they would go there. Because they understand everything is in control of Krishna. And pure devotee is representative of Krishna. So the order which we are getting, it is direct order of Krishna. In this way, all the services that we get in Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada told, must be received. Whether you get service of worshipping Krishna in the altar, or you get service of chopping the vegetables, or taking care of garden, or anything. Everything should be done with great attention, because on absolute platform, there is no difference. Whether you are cleaning the floor, or you are typing, you are doing a painting, you are cooking, or any service we are doing. Just like Pujari is very attentive when he is doing deity worship, because Krishna directly standing in the altar, how careful you should be. Origin of the universe, same attention and care should be there in all the services. So one should be very careful, one should be very alert, very efficient in the services one is given. Because these services should be taken in the mood of being directly imparted by Krishna. And that is actually a fact. Krishna only gives these services through his devotees. So Prabhupada told the first step for advancement in Krishna consciousness is to voluntarily cooperate with the devotees already engaged in serving Krishna. So thus they were completely dependent and they were convinced that Prabhupada is a representative of Krishna, this is order of Krishna. So Krishna will take care of us if he wants to take care. And if Krishna does not want to take care of us, we so-called suffer externally, that thing is also good because it is coming under Krishna's direction. Krishna is in complete control. So whether we are taken care or we are not taken care, that situation is best for us, whatever we encounter in carrying the orders of Krishna. So without any hesitation, without saying no or doubting, Prabhupada told you go, and they were very eager. They came to Montreal and were willing to immediately launch the movement in England. Prabhupada asked 3 couples to remain with him in Montreal for a week or 2 so that he could train them perform kirtan expertly. So Prabhupada trained them a bit and then they left to start a new place, new center in London. Even while recuperating in India, Prabhupada had always thought of returning to America to continue his movement. The Indians had seemed interested only in sense gratification, like that of the Americans. But many American youths, disillusioned with their father's wealth, were not going to the skyscrapers or to their father's businesses. As Prabhupada had seen from his stays in New York City and San Francisco, thousands of youth were seeking an alternative to materialism. Frustrated, they were ripe for spiritual knowledge. So, this is a qualification. When a person becomes disgusted with material life, then he is qualified for exploring another dimension of life. The devotees, still neophytes, knew nothing of spiritual life and in most cases, very little of material life. So, neither they were expert in spiritual life, but they were very young. Even knowledge of material life was not there. But because they were sincerely taking to Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada was confident that their shortcomings would not prevent their spiritual progress. So, this is very important. If somebody is sincere and serious, he is able to attract spiritual master's mercy, even though there could be many shortcomings. Even a person may not be able to follow the regulative principles also, which are very important for spiritual advancement. Despite one's failing, because the body mind has got some momentum, you cannot stop immediately. But if the person is sincere and serious, he's trying his or her best to overcome all the past difficulties, then despite not following the rules and regulations, regulative principles, they make spiritual advancement. Because they are trying their level best, some failures do not stop it. Or following of regulative principles becomes easy. So what we have to do is follow the foremost instruction of being very sincere and serious in Krishna consciousness, in service of spiritual master. And then all the shortcomings, spiritual master would more than compensate for it by his mercy. So because they were very sincere and serious, material shortcomings, spiritual shortcomings, and thus we eventually see all these disciples who don't have much business experience, job experience, or spiritual experience, they ignited Krishna consciousness around the world simply because of sincerity. Although naturally beautiful, these Western youths were now dirty and morose. Their beauty had become covered, but the chanting of Hare Krishna was reviving them. When a reporter asked Prabhupada if his disciples were hippies, Prabhupada replied, "No, we are not hippies, we are happies." More than being a visiting lecturer or formal guide, Srila Prabhupada was the spiritual father of his disciples. They accepted him as their real father, and he found them devoted and affectionate far more than his own family had been. So thus we can see this is spiritual life. If we want to actually have a loving relationship, even though you may have bondage of blood, as people call it, blood relationships are the strongest, but still people are dissatisfied in such relationship. Everybody is having blood relationship, everyone has got family, but such relationships never satisfy the heart. However, spiritual relationship, there is no blood relationship, but how much satisfying it is. They were working harder, they were much more devoted than Prabhupada's own children. And all of them got much more love and satisfaction in serving Prabhupada than what they got otherwise by serving their blood relatives. Of course, it does not mean that we neglect anybody, but this is the teaching. And Lord Jesus Christ also says, it is written in the Bible. Jesus Christ told, I have not come here to establish peace. Oh, why Jesus is telling like that? He came here to make peace? No. Do not think I have come here to establish peace. I have come here to set son against father, daughter-in-law against mother-in-law, and like this he has mentioned, relative against relative. And then he mentions, if you love your father, mother, sister, anybody more than me, you are not worthy of me. So even Jesus Christ, who was preaching to barbarians and far away from any culture itself, demanded such a high level of surrender. And then too he told, there are many things which I have not told you because you cannot bear them now. Still, he demanded this much surrender. If you love anybody more than me, you are not worthy of me. So, this is the position of spiritual master and Krishna. And this is the life in Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, everyone has family. That is the life of spiritual world also. And in family, all those families, why they are there? They are there just for the satisfaction of Krishna. Just like we like to be with our brothers, sisters, uncles, aunts, cousins, neighbors. Why this tendency is there with us? We enjoy unique relationship with all of them because Krishna has this tendency. So for Krishna's satisfaction, Krishna's neighbors are there, Krishna's relatives are there, uncles, aunts, cousins are there, friends are there. And why these people are all maintaining their families and everything just for the satisfaction of Krishna. So all the mothers, they have their own children, but they love Krishna more than their own children. This is called Krishna consciousness. So an ordinary person may not be able to digest, but this is called love. This is Krishna consciousness. So Krishna is the prime source of attraction for everybody. And then all other people are loved, they are followed because they are also part and parcels of Krishna. So Krishna means all the jivas are part and parcel of Krishna only. So just like if I love a person, I love person's finger also, I would not hurt a finger. So in a similar fashion, we love everybody, all the living entities, because living entities are parts and parcels of Krishna. However, one's prime love is for Krishna, and here in this world, Krishna and Krishna's representative spiritual master. This is the way of finding satisfaction in life, and this is practical also. Nobody works like this, sacrificing all the comforts. Nobody so much surrendered, but they got so much spiritual love, affection, and satisfaction that they are willing to do everything for Prabhupada more than what his real children could have done. So thus this hankering which we have got, this ever dissatisfying feeling that we have got, only finds solace in spiritual relationships. These young American boys and girls, the flower of your country, Prabhupada called them, had received the blessing of Lord Chaitanya and were delivering that blessing to their countrymen. Prabhupada said it was up to his American disciples to save their country. He was giving them the method, but they would have to implement it. So this is spiritual life. Master teacher means he will give instructions, and how much advancement will happen, it depends how well we implement it. Many students sit in the same class. Some of them, they become toppers, they secure very good marks. Others, sometimes they have to repeat the class, they fail miserably. Why? Because they could not implement the instructions. So instructions are open to everybody. It depends upon our implementation, how much we shall be able to advance. Srila Prabhupada loved his disciples and they loved him out of love. He was giving them the greatest treasure. And out of love, they were following his instructions. This was the essence of spiritual life. On the basis of this love, the Krishna consciousness movement would grow. So this is Vedic culture. What to speak of even Krishna consciousness? Now everywhere it is business, in every relationship. Student has to pay the fees first of all, and then he or she would get admission in school or university. And the teachers also are given money. And in this way, everything is business. You give money to doctor and then doctor will take care of you. But Vedic culture is different. In Vedic culture, the disciples would go to the spiritual master. Spiritual master would take care of disciple like his own children. He would not take any money from the disciples, would educate them free of cost. No, Prabhu, but how it will happen? Because we need some money or some goods to maintain ourselves. So if he doesn't take anything, how he would sustain? No, it's natural, it's normal. When spiritual master, somebody has taught you for so many years, it is a natural obligation that you would like to offer something to spiritual master. That is called Guru Dakshina. So the disciples, whatever, when they are brahmacharis, whatever they collect, they offer it to the spiritual master. And then once the education is finished, then whatever they can afford. Somebody is from poor family, does not matter. He can offer some little thing. He is the son of a king. He can offer big lands and anything to the spiritual master, to their guru. So in this manner, the relationship, although transaction is happening, but this transaction is based on love. I offer you free of cost education and I don't demand anything. Now you, out of obligation, you offer something, Guru Dakshina, on your own. In a similar fashion, doctors, how in Vedic culture people were receiving medical help. So the Brahmanas, the sannyasis, they were expert in this science also, Ayurveda. So they would visit and they would ask little food from every house so that no house is overloaded. So little they'll beg from everybody. And when they visit, they are advanced. They know how to see horoscope. They will warn about future difficulties, and they will give remedies, and they are expert in medicine. If anybody is suffering, sannyasi would come, and then you ask what to do, and then they will tell this is the solution, and then it can be fixed. So it is very nice. It is loving relationship. You offer something in donation, and he gives you knowledge. So this is Vedic society out of love. Similarly, employee and employer, employee is serving out of love, not for salary, the spiritual master. His master. And master similarly out of love is maintaining the servant. The servant becomes invalid or some accident happens, he is not able to serve, not that you are getting a pink slip. Just like now the companies have, if somebody is not even performing nicely, they remove. So the person is always in anxiety, I may be removed anytime from the company. And the employer also is in anxiety, the servant may leave anytime and join another company. So this is also vice versa also. If the master becomes poor, he is not able to pay anything to the servant will keep on serving the master. So this is the relationship based on love. Servant will keep on serving, master will keep on maintaining the servant. Even though they are not able to serve or not able to pay, the relationship will not break. Similarly, the king would maintain the citizens out of love, and the citizens would obey the king out of love. The king was seen as father, and Rajmata, she is seen as Mata, one of the mothers, 7 mothers in the Vedic culture. So king is maintaining, so he is father. Similarly, the bull is also considered father. Why? Because the bull works in the field just like father. Now they are working outside in the factories. Earlier factories were not there, fields were there. So the fathers would work in the field and the bull also would work in the field. So if you are considering your father because he is maintaining you, bull also should be considered father because the bull also is working. Just see, these are the sentiments. Because the bull has worked hard and thus grains have come up and I am eating the grains and sustaining myself. So bull is also sustaining me. So bull is considered as father. And mother gives me milk and cow is also giving me milk. Suppose sometimes people have foster mothers. Your mother could not maintain, another woman maintained. Shall we not consider that woman mother? So why not animal? So your mother is giving you milk, another animal also is giving you milk. So the animal also should be treated as mother. That is why Gaurmandal. These are fine sentiments. If I am drinking somebody's milk, so that is mother's role. So like this, fine sentiments are there. Queen is supposed to be mother. Spiritual master's wife is supposed to be mother. Cow is supposed to be mother. Like these 7 mothers are there. So now you impose so many rules and regulations and the citizens revolt. This new law amended, we will not follow it. Government is trying to suppress. Government suppresses. So this is not Vedic civilization. Vedic civilization means citizens would never disobey the king. So in this way, very nicely it happens. Similarly, Brahmanas, you don't pay them. Brahmanas will guide the king free of cost. So this money is not related. And out of love, king would organize yajnas, give charity to the Brahmanas. So in both ways it can happen. Husband maintains wife, wife takes care of husband. They don't charge each other, although in future they may start charging. But it is out of love. Similarly, all the relationships were maintained like that in Vedic culture. And this is how the situation was, more so in Vaishnava culture, which is much more advanced than Varnashrama culture also. Not surprisingly, some disciples had fallen away to their former materialistic ways of living. But Prabhupada sought those sincere souls who would stay. That was the important thing, he said. One moon is more valuable than many stars. So even a few sincere workers would accomplish wonderful things. The sincere and intelligent would stay. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would empower them to carry out his desires for distributing love of Krishna. In this way, the devotees' lives would become perfect. Many disciples, in fact, already felt this happening. Krishna consciousness worked because they sincerely practiced it, and because Srila Prabhupada carefully and patiently tended the growing plants of transcendental loving service he had planted in their hearts. New York City, April 9, 1969. Prabhupada traveled to New York City, the birthplace of his Krishna Consciousness Society, where his movement has been going for 3 years. And even though Prabhupada was away for 7 months, but still through correspondence and by the inspiration, disciples were working very hard and the movement was growing. For 7 months they had carried on without his personal touch, but his visits, when he would sit in his room and reciprocate warmly with them, were vital. Nothing could equal these intimate meetings. Many devotees, new and old, crowded into Prabhupada's apartment at 26 2nd Avenue. There was one reporter, Prabhupada said. He was putting questions to me. And then he wrote an article. The Swami is a small man, but he is delivering a great message. That is true, I am small, Prabhupada told. But the message, that is not small. Brahmanand showed Prabhupada a globe with markers representing ISKCON centers. Now there is one in North Carolina, Brahmanand said. Then it becomes 15, Prabhupada asked. He was smiling and looking directly from one devotee to another. And then in that small room, all those devotees were packed up together present. He looked at all the devotees and then he told, I want each of you to go and start a center. What is the difficulty? So Prabhupada told there are not many people required. So in material calculations, if you have to start a company, you need many people like that. But for Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada told, to start a center, I just need one sincere soul for every center. And one sincere soul, if he goes to any part of the earth to start a center, Krishna will help in all respects. So it is not the number of people, but it is a consciousness which works. So in material life, we have to work very hard. And in spiritual life, Prabhupada told, you always remember the lotus feet of Krishna and work very sincerely and everything will happen automatically in Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada told it is a consciousness which is important. So even if one person is there who is a very sincere devotee, Krishna will send all help. In any part of the globe, he goes to start a center. So thus Prabhupada told, I want each of you to go and start a center. What is the difficulty? Take one mridanga. Then another person will come and join you. He will take kartals. When I came here, Brahmananda and Achyutananda were dancing. And after chanting, hundreds of men will come to your storefront and enjoy chanting and dancing. Then when Mataji also, young, she was very young, around 16 years old, she asked, the girls also? There is no harm, Prabhupada said. Krishna does not make distinction, female dress or male dress. I mean to say, the female body is weaker. That is accepted fact. But spiritually, the body does not matter. In the absence of Lord Nityananda, Prabhupada gave historical example. His wife Janvi Devi was preaching. First, you must understand the philosophy. You must be prepared to answer questions. Krishna will give you intelligence, just like I was not prepared to answer all these questions, but Krishna gives intelligence. So the society was very rigid. Brahmana becomes Brahmana, Shudra becomes Shudra, Vaishya becomes Vaishya. But in Krishna consciousness, right from the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 500 years ago, the Vaishnavas never followed this so-called caste system, which was perverted form of Varnashrama. Lord Chaitanya also initiated many Muslims, and the local Brahmanas, they complained, this person is spoiling Vedic culture. He is giving mantra to non-Brahmin people and to Shudras and people who are born in other religions, Muslims, he is giving such mantra. He is spoiling our culture. Please stop him. They would complain to magistrate. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, neither his disciples, they agreed to this. Whether a person is born in Shudra family or born to a prostitute or anybody, if the person is willing to follow Krishna consciousness, he would be given all facilities to read the Vedas and become a Brahmana, Vaishnava and a sannyasi. So boy or girl also does not matter. So we see so much restriction was there on girls, even in the other Western countries also. But in Vaishnavism, it was never the case. Nityanand Prabhu's wife, Janvi Devi, when Nityanand Prabhu disappeared, she was leading the Krishna consciousness movement of the entire country 500 years ago. And she came here to Vrindavan and she met the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, other Goswamis. and many arguments were there, philosophical arguments, and they got confused about absolute truth, and she settled all the arguments. So she was leader of that time. Krishna consciousness was just in India, but it was everywhere, and she was leading the movement at that time in the country. So Prabhupada told, in Krishna consciousness, it does not matter. What matters is qualification. Just like Prabhupada explained, if a professor is there, will you ask professor, are you Brahmana, are you Kshatriya, are you Indian, are you Christian, are you American? No. If he knows the subject matter, he is a professor. So in Krishna consciousness, if you are able to please Krishna and spiritual master, you will have spiritual realizations. So if you are able to understand the philosophy, if you are able to answer the questions, you understand you are not the body, you don't have material desires, then you can well become preacher, man or woman, it does not matter. But the main thing is realization of this knowledge, and if you are able to explain this knowledge to others, that's it. First, you must understand the philosophy. You must be prepared to answer questions. Krishna will give you intelligence. Just like I was not prepared to answer all these questions, but Krishna gives intelligence. After 8 days in his New York City home, Prabhupada went to Buffalo. There also was another center where one devotee had introduced Krishna Yoga course in the university. And around 50-60 students were coming, they were chanting. So Prabhupada became very glad and he told, like this in university, please preach it systematically. May 21, 1969, New Vrindavan. So this New Vrindavan was also a very important project of Prabhupada. So Prabhupada's two ambitions were there. First was he wanted to have some intelligent people pick up Krishna consciousness and train them as Brahmanas. Brahmana means intelligent class, the head. Although all the limbs of the body are important, if head is not there, body cannot continue. So some people should be there who can understand and present very scientifically, logically this Krishna consciousness. And then for the society at large, because not everyone can be expected to come to Brahmanical level. So Prabhupada wanted Varnashrama system, farm communities, these artificial factories that we have created. Prabhupada told all this is not required. So much of hard work for the amenities, which gives some immediate benefit, but then a lot of hard work and anxiety goes to develop such amenities and machines. So Prabhupada wanted to revive the village living, the simple living, where you don't require anything in the world. So such a place was New Vrindavan. Prabhupada was traveling and the car broke down. And then Prabhupada had to walk for more than 2 miles. And Prabhupada was walking so fast, the disciples got tired. Prabhupada sat down at one place in the creek. And it was very nice. One beautiful creek was there and many jungles. It was jungle that you have to pass through, many bushes, and a dense forest was there. And Prabhupada told, this is very nice. I wanted a place like this. So Prabhupada gave it the name New Vrindavan, just like San Francisco was given the name New Jagannath Puri. So Vrindavan also was a forest, and it was meant only for pure devotees. Krishna's pastimes happened there. The Goswamis re-excavated the places. The deities were carved by Vajranab, Krishna's great-grandson, were lost. They were again found. And 7 prominent temples were established in Vrindavan. But down the line, many materialists, they also got settled there. And such is the situation now in Vrindavan. So Prabhupada told, in one sense, this place is even better than Vrindavan. Because in Vrindavan, some materialists are living there now. But here, please do not allow materialists, only devotees. And in New Vrindavan, that is West Virginia, they got some more than 100 acres of land. There was no electricity. One very old house was there, and the grasses had grown very tall. And it was very difficult. There is no heating, even though it might be very cold over there. So the cold winds would come. It was very difficult even to survive in that place. But still somehow they made some cottages, some huts. And Prabhupada was very satisfied, and he spent good time in New Vrindavan. And thus setting example for his disciples that if our spiritual master can live in this jungle, then all of us should live, and that is his desire. So Prabhupada told, initially it will be inconvenient, definitely, because you are used to electricity, machines and everything. For even brushing your teeth, you have a machine. But this is not the way a person can live peacefully. This is peaceful life. Whatever happens in the world, you are completely not disturbed. So this community should be self-sufficient, Prabhupada told. That is called success. So that place was very, very far away. Even from the nearest post office, you have to walk miles, couple of miles to give or receive a mail. So Prabhupada told, this is ideal. Take a bullock cart and sitting on that cart through these jungles, you can come here and you cultivate your own food. You have your own cloth over here. You make your clothes. You grow your food. You cook here. And Prabhupada explained, use cow dung. That is the best fuel. Cow dung is best fuel. After cow dung is wood. After that is gas. And then after that, fourth grade fuel is electricity, which we are using inductions and all these things now. So the best fuel is cow dung. So you have cows here, and that time only one cow was there. And Prabhupada told that was a crossbreed, but Prabhupada told, in my 65 years, I have never tasted milk tastier than this. So Prabhupada told very soon, he made a prophecy, there would be many, many cows in this place. And you make 7 temples here. Radha Damodar, Govind Dev Ji, Gopinath Ji, all the 7 prominent temples which are there in Vrindavan. Prabhupada told, like the 7 temples you make on New Vrindavan also. And I will arrange for the deities. In this way, Prabhupada was very glad to see this place. This was Prabhupada's second phase of the movement. First of all, people should realize Krishna consciousness, and then for the society in general, they cannot be expected, all of them completely surrendered and dedicated. The simple way of living, because anyway, now also people are growing frustrated. So we want to have present this alternate way of life, which people have completely forgotten, which is actually very, very simple. Just grow your food for 3 months and 9 months you cultivate Krishna consciousness. Simple living and high thinking should be the motto. Just keep this motto, be sincere, and then Krishna will guide from the heart how to develop this place further. And then Prabhupada told, I have to take a leave. So disciples told, no, Prabhupada, we cannot let you go. One disciple, Kirtananda, who was there, the main person in charge of the center, he told Prabhupada, I will come and block your way. I will not let you go. So then Prabhupada educated. No, this you cannot do with your spiritual master. Always gravity has to be maintained with spiritual master. And thus Prabhupada wished all good luck and fortune to his disciples in New Vrindavan, and told to always keep it very natural, always very peaceful, without any so-called modern amenities, and to introduce, especially to the Western world, an alternative, the best way of life. Prabhupada had been hearing regularly from his 6 disciples in London. Having little money and living as separate couples in different parts of the city, they found their greatest inspiration in Prabhupada's letters. So they were not even able to live together. 3 couples, because there is no money, they cannot afford a big place. In separate parts they were living. They found their greatest inspiration in Prabhupada's letters. They would repeatedly read his instructions and dream of when he would one day visit them in London. Although in San Francisco, Krishna consciousness had been fun for the 3 couples, in England it was becoming more and more difficult. So it was so difficult for the Mataji who had an infant baby, Saraswati. She would carry baby also, and in London it rains anytime. She would have to carry umbrella also, and she would carry books. In this way she would do book distribution on the roads, carrying baby and carrying books, and also an umbrella. So a lot of hard work was there. And they were not even having proper devotee association, no great vibrations like that. But because they were very faithful to Prabhupada, Prabhupada was protecting them. They did not lose their Krishna consciousness. Rather, they achieved wonders, as we will see. The devotees, being foreigners, were not allowed to earn a salary, and except for a few contacts, they knew no one. Although unable to live together, they were trying to maintain their morale and Krishna consciousness. Then, in the middle of a winter of struggle, came a fortunate break for the London devotees. So what was this fortunate break? How Prabhupada established his great mission and fulfilled the long cherished dream of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj, and of his own self, this wonderful pastime and Krishna's reciprocation, we will understand tomorrow. So thank you so much for hearing today's session. Okay. So today we have, for a change, quiz again. So we have been writing our realizations in comments, and we know that it is very important. It is very nice to see many devotees are regular. I request all of you to please write it there in the comment. That is good for everybody. But today we will be giving not basis that, although you please write that, don't be very fruitive. That is good for everybody, for you and others. Do write your realizations application again today. But today we will be giving quiz to the people who give the right answer in the comments. Among the first 50 right answers, we will choose the winner. So the question is, how many temples Srila Prabhupada told Kirtananand Maharaj to establish in New Vrindavan? I repeat, how many temples Srila Prabhupada told his disciple Kirtananand Maharaj to establish in New Vrindavan? So please write the number in the comments and we will choose the lucky winner. We'll be announcing tomorrow. Keep the notifications of your YouTube on because we'll be writing in the comment if you have won it. And then a transcendental gift we'll be mailing to you. So thank you so much for hearing. Tomorrow we'll meet with very, very interesting pastime. Please do not miss. Hare Krishna.